Hey everybody, JP Guidry here with Guidry Golf and Sport for number 4 of my 5 pillars of golf performance training. Again, I want to thank Mississippi Golfer Podcast for having me on, and let's get started. So, just to recap, number 1 was building a solid strength base. Number 2 was good mobility through the joints of the body and having control of that mobility. Number 3 was power development, and today, number 4, we're going to talk about nutrition. So we're not going to get too deep into anything. I'll kind of give my ideas on nutrition. I don't subscribe to one way of eating. I'm not keto. I'm not low carb. I'm not low fat. But I'll kind of give the basics of it, of what I look for. And this isn't going to be as much for, fat loss, weight loss. This is going to be basically to support your training and your performance. Um, the biggest thing that I think athletes don't get enough of that do is they don't get enough protein. You know, Ideally, you want to be around 1 gram per body weight, or maybe a little under that, to support your training, to support muscle building. Um, you know, I'm not a huge fan of extreme dieting, extreme low carbs, extreme low fat. I think need both of those for energy, for our development. If you look at golf is both a um, low state or a low slow energy development as we walk from shot to shot, and then a very quick burst. And so we need some of that quick burst energy, which is going to come more from our carbohydrates. And we need more of that slow, which will come more from our slower digesting carbohydrates and our fats, healthy fats. That doesn't mean you can go out and eat anything you want. Um, you know, Training days versus non-training days are going to differ. Heavy practice days versus non-heavy practice days are going to differ. And each person's likes, genetically, we're kind of learning more of our tendencies towards carbs, towards fats, and what we digest easier. So again, it's hard to get into any of that in more generalization. But good thing is base it off how you feel. I've tried to go low carb before, and frankly, I just feel terrible, and so I don't think I need any genetic testing to tell me that that's probably not good for me. I need a certain level of carbs to maintain my energy throughout the day. And so, based on how you feel, if you feel zapped, if you don't have energy, then that means you need to probably change something. You need to make sure you're getting enough protein. If you're eating low carb, you probably need more carbohydrates. You may need some more healthy fats. You may work on the timing of your meals. When are you getting them pre and post training, during your practice sessions, and what you're eating. Make sure it's quality food, lean meats, vegetables, fruits, nuts, things like that. You're drinking a lot of water, so on-course nutrition is important, especially for our competitive golfers. Over the course of a round, there's been some studies showing that both uh, dehydration and improper nutrition can lead to errant shots, loss of distance, loss of focus. And these things can mean, a couple shots over the course of the round, and maybe 4 to 6 to 8 shots over the course of a tournament, which makes a big difference in how you finish. In round nutrition, I really prefer eating probably every 3 to 4 holes. I like to have some kind of fast acting, so maybe a candy bar, some fruit, some kind of fast acting carb to give you a little zip. I also like having some slower stuff, so maybe some, vegetables, some nuts, good healthy fats. Beef jerky is great. It's a great protein source, and easy to pack. Nuts, butters. They make now the little almond butter packets, peanut butter packets, things like that. Drink a lot of water. You probably can't drink enough water. Down here in the South Gulf Coast, it's October and it's still in the 90s, so it stays hot down there. So down here, so you need to make sure you get enough water in. Start before the round, during the round, after the round, and keep that up. What you eat the night before makes a difference. So having a good, solid, full developed meal, some fats, some carbs, some proteins. Having a good breakfast, same thing. Don't stuff yourself. Don't eat something heavy, but make sure you get those nutrients in. And then again, during the round, making sure you're getting those nutrients and staying energized and staying hydrated throughout the round. So like I said, it's hard to get too deep into this because nutrition can get very individualized based on each person's goals and likes and preferences. But for the general, recap, make sure you're getting your protein. Base everything off how you feel energy wise. So you may need to play around with how many carbs you're taking in, how many fats, the types you're taking in, and until you kind of feel where you can sustain energy and you're not wearing down throughout the day or throughout the round, throughout the tournament. In round nutrition, every 3 to 4 holes, make sure you're snacking on something if you need a quick pick me up, candy bar, fruit, things like that. But you also want that sustainable energy throughout the round, nuts, beef jerky, nut butters, things like that. And then outside of that, get some help if you're looking for more diet, fat loss, things like that. You really need to talk to somebody to get that set up for you. If you have any questions, reach out to me at John Paul, JOHNPAUL, at Guidry, GUIDRYPT.com. And thanks again to Mississippi Golf Podcast for having me on.